Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts and Sciences, also commemorating Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns. But before we start today's sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating various international and national commemorations like just a second. Today, we are commemorating International Day for Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action. We see that every year. Lot of lives are lost due to mines that has been deployed in World War One and Two and still active. So this year, the theme for 2025 is Safe Futures Start Here. So mines, explosive remnants of war and improvised explosive devices continue to cause death and injury, especially in situations of armed conflict. On average, one person is killed or injured by such explosive device every hour. Many children among the victims. The use of improvised explosive devices has expanded, terrorizing civilians and threatening humanitarian actors and United Nations missions and personnel. In 2025, the International Day of Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action will be commemorated under the theme Safe Futures Start Here. So, building on the Pact of the Future, the United Nations Mine Action Community stresses the need for funding micro and quick impact projects to address the urgent needs of persons with physical disabilities affected by conflict. So, this initiative reinforces the global commitment to civilian protection, Action 14, and to scaling up technology and innovation capacities in developing countries, Action 29. From 9th to 11th April 2025, the United Nations Mine Action Service and the Geneva International Center for Humanitarian Demining will co-host 28th International Meeting of Mine Action. National Directors and United Nations Advisors, NDM UN 28. This in-person meeting will bring together mine action leaders and experts to network and exchange views on pressing issues facing the sector. When we look at the background of this day, on 8th December 2025, the General Assembly declared that 4th April of each year shall be observed as International Day of Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action is called for continued efforts by states and with the assistance of the United Nations and relevant organizations to foster the establishment and development of national mine action capacities in countries with mine explosives So it is called for continued efforts by states with the assistance of the United Nations and relevant organizations to foster the establishment and development of national mine action capacities in countries where mines and explosive remnants of war constitute a serious threat to the safety, health, and lives of civilian population or an impediment to social and economic development at national and local levels. For over 20 years, the work of United Nations Mine Action Service, UNMAS, has been driven by the needs of affected people and tailored to the threat of explosives hazards faced by civilians, peacekeepers, and humanitarians. UNMAS works to save lives to facilitate deployment of UN missions and the delivery of humanitarian assistance to protect civilians, to support the voluntary return of the internally displaced and refugees, to enable humanitarian and recently activities, and to advocate for international humanitarian and human rights law. The United Nations advocates for universalization of existing legal frameworks and encourages member states to expand those regimes and develop new international instruments to protect civilians from the scourge of landmines and explosives, remnants of war. It undertakes this work in collaboration with interested states, civil society, mine action, and international organizations. Since the Convention of the Prohibition of Use, Stockpiling, Production, and Transfer of Anti-Personnel Mines on their destruction, commonly known as Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention, opened for signature in 1997, 164 countries have ratified to acceded to it. Advocacy by the time unprecedented coalition raised public awareness of the impact of anti-personnel landmines on civilians and rallied global support for a total ban. Article 6 of the Mine Ban Treaty provided for victim assistance, making the care, rehabilitation, and social and economic reintegration of victims of mines an obligation of state parties to the convention. It set out the assistance must meet the immediate and long-term needs of mine accident survivors, their families, mine-affected communities, and persons with disabilities. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and its optional protocol 61 by 106 was adopted on 13 December 2006 at the United Nations headquarters in New York and was opened for signature on 30th March 2007. This convention, which referred to the Mine Ban Convention, included all persons with disabilities. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and its optional protocol. In addition to the anti-personnel mines, challenges remain with respect to all other explosive remnants of war. On 12 November 2006, the Secretary General welcomed the entry into the force of Protocol 5 on explosive remnants of war from the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons and reiterated his call for its universalization and implementation. In December 2008, the Secretary General welcomed the opening for signature of the Convention on Cluster Munitions, which was joined by 108 states, guided by the interagency policy. The United Nations Interagency Coordination Group on Mine Action, IACGMA, consisting of 12 departments, agencies, funds, and programs, and which observer entities such as United Nations Institute of Disarmament Research and World Bank contribute to ensure system-wide coherence in all mine action pillars and activities. So the United Nations Mine Action Strategy serves as an accountability framework for the United Nations system and participating entities, guiding efforts to prevent and address explosive ordnance threats during and after armed conflicts, while supporting affected communities as agreed by the IACGMA principles in June 2023. The strategy will no longer be time-bound and will continue to be subject to periodic review every 2 years to coincide with the biannual report of the Secretary General on assistance in mine action. The principles of ISCG-MA endorsed the UN strategy on 13 December 2023. The strategy came into effect as of 1st January 2020. So the UN aims for a world free of landmines and explosive remnants of war, where individuals and communities live in a safer environment conducive to development and where the needs of victims are met. 12 UN departments and offices of the Secretariat, specialized agencies, funds, and programs play a role in mine action programs in 30 countries and 3 territories. Mine action makes it possible for peacekeepers to carry out patrols, for humanitarian agencies to deliver assistance, and for ordinary citizens to live without the fear that a single misstep could cost them their lives. So, United Nations Mine Action Service, established in 1997, the United Nations Mine Action Service, UNMAS, works to eliminate the threat posed by mines, explosive remnants of war, and improvised explosives devices by coordinating United Nations mine action, leading operational responses at country level, and supporting the development of standards, policies, and norms as a specialized service of United Nations located within the Department of Peace Operations. UNMAS operates under UN legislation mandates of both the General Assembly and the Security Council. UNMAS also responds to specific requests for support from the UN Secretary General or designated official. Today is also commemorated as International Carrot Day. So on this International Carrot Day, shake off the dirt and wear your best orange. On April 4th, you'll never catch us without a pack of carrots in the crisper, and that's because this vegetable is not only highly affordable with a long shelf life, but is also exceedingly beneficial for our health. Whatever they are, brightening our winter soaps or compliments, the cream cheese icing in our cakes, carrots are always a welcome guest on any plate. The first annual celebration of this vibrant root occurred in year 2003 with the pure intention of celebrating the staple salad ingredient. As of now, celebrations have been reported to occur in France, Italy, Sweden, Russia, Austria, Japan, and UK. It seems that carrots are a rather hardy plant that can grow in many diverse conditions, though they typically come into harvest in the summer and fall seasons of their growth sites. California is responsible for 85% of the carrots that US citizens purchase in grocery stores across the country, while the taproot is traditionally the star of culinary show. Carrot greens, the part that grows out of the soil and towards the sun, are equally edible. Many countries use the portion of the plant to mix in with their salad greens. Carrots are among the few vegetables that are harvested primarily for their roots rather than their sprouts. Joining them are potatoes, turnips, radishes, and beets. The traditional carrot's hue is a deep orange with yellow undertones, but there are many different variations in color harvested worldwide, including purple, red, and pale yellow iterations. Due to carrot's longevity when stored in the refrigerator, it often makes appearances in dishes for all seasons, from spring to autumn to winter. Carrots are also among the vegetables that can be eaten raw and fresh, with only a little scrub under cool water as preparation. When raw, the crunch of a carrot can be heard from a feet away. Carrots can be served as a sweet treat in carrot cake or as a savory accompaniment to meats such as salmon and chicken. And carrot is healthy and comparatively affordable and accessible. Do a taste test after visiting your local grocery or farmer's market to gather some different carrot varieties. Bring your haul home and prepare a blind taste test. Cut and prepare each variety from purple to white or orange. And once they are complete, blindfold your family members and serve the veggies up. Without the visual input to spoil things, your taste testers can describe the different flavor nuances of each colored root. Do you know you could propagate your own carrot plants by just using scraps from your regular grocery store purchase? When you are ready to use your carrots, cut the tops of them off and set them aside. Place them stump cut side down in a shallow glass dish and fill it with about 1 inch of water. Set the dish in a sunny window and top of water each day. You are growing your own sprouts. So this day, which occurs in early spring, it's still nippy where you live, then take advantage of the opportunity to throw together a cozy, warm soup starring this orange veggie front and center. We like to start our soups by sauteing onion, garlic, and celery in a deep pot and then adding carrots cut in thin discs before covering with delicious vegetable stock. Pull on some knit socks and cozy blanket and enjoy this warm, healthy treat in honor of favorite beta carotene contributor. At a farmer's market, almost all produce have been harvested at peak ripeness, sometimes even within the last 24 hours before you purchase it. The flavors are more far intense. When you shop at farmer's market, you will only be able to purchase what is already in season. By molding your weekly menu to Mother's Earth bounty, you will be reducing carbon emissions and helping the planet. Local farmers who are the life of your farmers markets can help introduce you to new fruits and vegetables that you may never have heard before. So depending on your geographical location, you can also purchase from farm fresh and even other vegetables, including carrot from your local market as an added bonus. Most of the animals and farmers responsible for contributing to the agriculture and producing these products are treated far more humanly on these small family farms than they are in corporate factories. So your most cherished local restaurants probably visit the farmer markets religiously. While you are there, you will meet lots of creative and community-oriented members of your neighborhood and feel far more connected than you would by just walking into a grocery chain. Carrots are a food staple when it comes to finding enthusiasm in the kitchen. We can often overlook these simple staples that have carried us through a lifetime. International Carrot Day reminds us about the ubiquitous and universally loved vegetable that is likely in each of our refrigerator drawers. The primary vitamin in carrots is beta carotene, which transforms into vitamin A once processed through the human digestive system. Vitamin A is known for strengthening the eyes as well as the bones, teeth, and skin. Carrots are among the cheapest vegetables available for purchase. In the US, they make clean eating more accessible to the citizens of all socioeconomic backgrounds, which means no one is excluded from celebrating along with us. Today is also commemorated as International Day for Achievers, which is celebrated globally on March 24th. which is also sometimes celebrated today. Today is also commemorated as 404 Day, which is celebrated on April 4th. The Electronic Frontiers Foundation, EFF activists created 404 Day as a campaign to warn everyone that the internet, long dubbed the information superhighway, is full of bottlenecks and rotting infrastructure, especially in public schools and libraries where children have access. To comply with the Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA, public libraries and public schools have been censoring the internet for over a decade by banning and blacklisting websites. In exchange for government funds, So April 4th is 404 Day, which is a day dedicated to raising awareness about internet filtering in public schools and libraries across the United States. The Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA, is a well-intentioned but flawed regulation, connects federal money for public schools and libraries to obligation to screen child pornography and anything obscene or damaging to kids. Unfortunately, among other issues, poor and converted filtering technologies and too aggressive filtering implementation result in filtering of constitutional protection or constitutionally protected speech. Unfortunately, extreme interpretation of CIPA have resulted in excessive and unwarranted censorship in public libraries, frequently because libraries go beyond the legal limits of CIPA when establishing the content filters for fear of breaching the law. As a result, students and library customers across the country are frequently and unnecessarily denied access to constitutionally protected websites, such as art museum websites or healthy related websites. So, according to Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF, and other internet freedom supporters, part of the problem is that web filters intended to protect young people from obscene information such as pornography accidentally block all kinds of useful, instructive, and non-porn websites. This includes genuine keyword conflations that ban pages on chicken breast or breast cancer, as well as Shakespeare. It also goes after another content that is deemed inappropriate by authorities, such as non-mainstream faiths like Wicca or Native American spirituality, LGBTQ, information undergo tobacco use, sexual health. According to the EFF, this is a violation of the First Amendment. This is why the EFF is encouraging librarians, students, and concerned library users around the country to participate in 404 Day to raise awareness of prohibited websites and internet censorship in libraries. So mark your calendars for 404 Day to encourage your friends to blog about it, share on social media, and help EFF bring censorship in libraries and schools to light. Even through CIPA is nearly a decade old, library internet filtering is not permanent. We can raise awareness and draw attention to this essential problem if we work together. Today is also commemorated as Jeep 4x4 Day, which is celebrated on April 4th every year. It has no coincidence that is held on the fourth day of the fourth month, but rather fitting given the name. Even the name Jeep itself is made up of 4 letters as well. This day is dedicated to the fans of brand and all outdoor and off-road enthusiasts, adventurous souls looking for a challenge. National Jeep 4x4 Day, 4 into 4 Day aims to get people in their vehicles exploring, advancing through 4 into 4 trials, getting their wheels muddy and enjoying their daring lifestyles. Jeeps have been around for many decades. The brand was originally owned by American Motors Corporation, but Stellantis Chrysler acquired it in 1987. During the World War II, Jeeps were primary light four-wheel drive vehicle of the United States Armed Forces and the Allies, as well as in post-war period. Nowadays, the Jeep range consists of sport utility vehicles, crossovers, fully off-road worthy models, and SUVs. It also includes a pickup truck, and some of its models fall into luxury SUV market, such as Grand Cherokee. The Jeep Wagoneer evolved into the Super Wagoneer model, and this opened on luxury 4x4 market. So in 2016, Jeep sold 1.4 million SUVs globally, and this was a huge rise from 5 lakhs they sold in 2008. Two-thirds of these were sold in North America. In the US alone, there are over 2,400 dealerships that hold franchise rights to sell Jeep branded vehicles. It is so popular that many other car brands around the world have imitated the Jeep. These includes Dale, Hotchkiss, Etsy, Mitsubishi Motors, and Toyota, and of course, Land Rover, which was inspired by Jeep. Even the Museum of Modern Art has referred to the Jeep as a masterpiece of functional design and has exhibited the Jeep as part of its collection. Jeep has a brand of outdoor lifestyle apparel that is also sold under its name. They also sponsor Italian football club Juventus, the Greek football club AEK, Athens FC, and the basketball league LNB Pro A. Today is also commemorated as National Hug a News Person Day in US. Warm up those hugging muscles because on April 4th we are showing our appreciation for news people in a big way. That's right. We are psyched to celebrate National Hug a News Person Day. This day, we give hug shouts outs to everyone who help us stay updated, from major anchors like Anderson Cooper to that weather guy who correctly pronounced without skipping a beat. He deserves the biggest hug of all. So get ready to hug your favorite news actors, only if they are comfortable, even if that means wrapping your TV in a super wide embrace. Today is also commemorated as National Picky Eaters Day in US. Parents, we see trying our best to get your kids to eat right, and that's we are here for you. Every mealtime, you put on your referee jersey and try to negotiate peace between the food on the plate and picky eater across the table. A recent survey of 2,000 parents conducted on the behalf of CPAC, America's number one frozen shrimp pan, found that the average American parent spend up to 67 hours a year in such negotiations with their picky eaters. But fear not, April 4th is National Picky Eaters Day. This day that celebrates the small victories, like when a kid actually tries something new and likes it. Whether you are dealing with the PB&J pursuit or buttered noodle enthusiast, this day is all about making mealtime a little better and a lot more tastier. Since the dawn of kitchen tables, picky eaters have ruled mealtime negotiations with iron wills and highly selective taste buds. While some kids are born food adventurers, others cling tightly to their beloved nuggets and noodles, giving anything new a hard press. A recent CPAC survey of parents found that most mealtime meltdowns occur over not wanting to eat veggies, 37%, not liking the smell of food, 33%, and not liking the way their meal looks, 32%, or simply not wanting to try something new, 14%. So parents have tried everything from the classic here comes the airplane trick to stealthy sneaking veggies into various dishes to varying degrees of success. Still, the struggle continues. The team at CPAC created the idea of National Picky Eaters Day to celebrate the little wins that brings us closer together around the table. Whether it's the day your child finally dips something in sauce or takes brave bite of a new to them food and declares it's not bad, every small step is a victory. And let's be honest, some picky eaters will never grow completely out of it. We are looking at the adults who refuse to get down with Brussels sprouts. That's why National Picky Eaters Day is here to encourage food exploration and help parents find options that make everyone happy. And if you are looking for delicious and nutritious meals that have even the pickiest eaters would pick, a little secret is 32% of parents said their kids never say no to certain foods. So find out those. Today is also commemorated as National Walk Around Things Day in US. We all had days when we can't deal with certain people or situations. Walk Around Things Day recognizes that sometimes it's right not to deal with things heard on. It celebrates the art of strategic withdrawal, step back, walk around the problem, come back and address it later. Like all the best things in life, it's open to interpretation. Celebrate it figuratively by avoiding nagging problems. Bring it in literally by walking around everything you see: tables, chairs, people, flower pots, pets, Feel free to get creative no matter how you choose to celebrate. The day promises to help us see and experience the world differently. The concept of walking around things has always existed, both literally and figuratively. We often been told that meeting challenges head is on the best way to address them. It's always been accepted way. History favors the brave people who never back down from a fight. Those who chase to take different paths have typically received harsh judgment. So the story of Demosthenes, an Athenian infantryman who lived in 338 BC, illustrates this bias perfectly. A great battle took place between the Athenians and Macedonians, where 3,000 of his brethren died. Demosthenes chose to flee from the battlefield, invoking ire from both his countrymen and history books. On being labeled a coward, Demosthenes famously retorted, "The man who runs away may fight again." It's where the modern day saying, "live to fight another day," comes from. So scientific research also shows for how engaging in activities to take mind off problems can prove more effective. Of course, one can also literally observe walk around things day. It's an excellent way to get some exercise or smash up your step counting each day. There's enough leeway to mix things up and make your own day. Today is also commemorated as School Librarian Day, which is observed internationally on April 4th. The day is observed to recognize the professionals who keep school libraries well stocked and the books in perfect order. School librarians spend long hours keeping the library organized. They are also likely to the first people to help students find resources they need to learn. They also encourage students to pursue reading outside of academic texts. School librarians are also responsible for creating an environment where students are motivated to learn. Their work is truly an accomplishment. Every school has a library, and no matter how small or big they are, these libraries also have librarians. Popular culture and sometimes our own experiences have made us think that librarians are brusque, short-tempered people. That's not entirely true. If as child you loved spending time at the school library, you have your school librarians to thank for it. They not only offered you a designated space to read and spend time in company with books, but also carefully curated the collection and picked the books that are best suited for students. Librarians have evolved over years, including such libraries, school libraries. Today, it's uncommon to find digital media in school libraries along with the text and print media. Libraries also give us accessibility to good and reliable digital media. School librarians connect your school library to other school libraries around the world so that students have unlimited access to the best of literature. Access to digital libraries is also ensured by your school librarians who got painstakingly created networks and partnered with the right digital libraries to curate a collection that is best for their students. This is commendable achievement. School libraries are also to be thanked for inculcating the habits of reading in us at a very young age. We pick up books at the school and encouraged by librarians. We keep coming back for more. This gives us books that feed our curiosity and turns us into lifelong learners. If you are a reader well into your adulthood, you also have the school libraries to thank for it. Today is also commemorated as Victims of Violence Holy Day in the US. The day marks the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr. assassination in Memphis in 1968. This day is one of the three Emancipation Days of Respect, and the other two are Humanitarian Day and Dream Quest and Jubilee. Dream Day Quest and Jubilee. It honors people who have sacrificed to change the segregation laws in the US and supports people who have suffered at the hands of violence. This day is set apart to communicate a message to those who engage in racial segregation. It speaks to equality for all men, regardless of their race or ethnicity. It also calls for a more inclusive world, including women. Today is also commemorated as Vitamin C Day in US, which is celebrated on April 4th each year. Today, we recognize the gazillion ways vitamin C is good for our body, mind, and soul. This powerhouse of vitamins not only wards off cold but benefits us in several important ways. A regular intake of vitamin C can lower the risk of heart disease and reduce blood pressure. It's amazing for our skin and hair. What's more incredible is that it's abundantly present in some of our favorite foods: tomatoes, oranges, bell peppers, and lemons, to name a few. This National Vitamin C Day, let's learn something new about supervitamin. And while we are at it, let's give our health a little uplift too. Vitamin C is also called absorbic acid. Dissolves in water, it remains in our tissues but doesn't store well in body. To avoid overdosing on vitamin C, scientists recommend a daily intake of 90 mg for men above 19 years and 75 mg milligrams for women. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant. It can heal wounds and control infection. Among others, it is responsible for production of collagen, a crucial structural protein found throughout the connective tissues in our body. Collagen is a protein that holds our body together, giving it a structure and added strength. Our pantries and kitchen shelves already contain some of the best nature sources of vitamin C. Make sure to stock up on citrus fruits like lemon, oranges, and grapefruit that have a ton of vitamin C. Other excellent sources are tomatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and white potatoes and bell peppers. Today is also commemorated as Walk to Work Day in US. We are a big fan of walking as an exercise, and this year's Walk to Work Day, which falls on April 4th, has got us excited. Walking burns calories, exercises the muscles, and refreshes the mind. Our day-to-day lives often require us to sit in one place with little to no movement exerted on our limbs. This sedentary lifestyle is not healthy as it can lead to weight gain, heart problems, and many. Walking can be a great stress reliever. It not only works the muscles and increases heart rates, but also allows the senses to take in different environmental stimuli. From the gentle breeze and bird sounds to the smell of flowers in the air and a much needed dose of vitamin D. If you are working from home, you can celebrate the day by simply walking within the spaces of your home or taking a stroll around the block. Today is also commemorated as World Rat Day, which is a day to dispel the bad vibe that rats suffer. Rats are amazing animals with some amazing talents and qualities. Rats have suffered a bad reputation since the bubonic plague, and people usually despise rats for stealing a food and spreading diseases. But those who have pet rats know that they are intelligent animals who are fun to be with. They need attention, care, and love, just like any other living being. In 2002, a group of pet enthusiasts started World Rat Day to create acceptance of these wonderful animals, allowing them to be part of our everyday lives. Rats are one of the oldest mammals that we could still see around. They were here when dinosaurs roamed the earth. They witnessed the extinction of Jurassic era, and they were there to begin the era of mammals. They witnessed the birth of many new species, some of which prey on them, and they witnessed the birth of human civilization. They were there to see all our triumphs and our great blunders. They punished us through plagues, and they will probably be here even after we are gone. So rats belong to long-tailed rodents of medium size from species Rodentia and genus Rattus. Their long tail is a prominent feature, and rats can use the tail for thermal control. Rats are pests in most of the world. They are not originally found in every part of the world. For most, they were introduced by ships in the medieval era. Black rats, in particular, are notoriously successful as invasive species. However, different cultures view rats in different lights. Rats are bad news in European cultures, whereas they are better represented in Asian cultures. Rats represent in the Chinese zodiac, and they are also mentioned as a vehicle of god Ganesha, according to Hindu mythologies. Rats are intelligent and cunning animals. The popularity of domestic rats is increasing day by day. Rats become friendly over the generations in captivity. They are curious animals with the potential to be great companions for their human friends. Pet rats pose no threat to us and do not carry any diseases any more than a usual cat or dog. They are low maintenance due to their small size and their flexibility in eating habits. Ratters were animals used by rat catchers and trained to hunt rats in the medieval period for controlling diseases. There are more than 25,000 rats in Karnimata temple, and these rats are worshipped there. Rats are used to detect landmines and diagnose diseases such as tuberculosis. Rats can make sounds similar to human laughter when they are happy. Rats are constant groomers like cats, and they are very clean and tidy. All living beings deserve respect and love. Rats are no different. We love to have a day for them. Rats have a negative reputation in human world, but this day can show them that this is not always the case and that rats can be awesome pets. Rats are perfect in such a case where you do not have a big enough budget to afford them, as they are cheap and low maintenance. Today is also commemorated as Discover National Parks Fortnight in UK. For 14 days from April 4 to 18 each year, the celebrations highlight the importance of national parks and the role they play in conserving our environment and encouraging people to take up outdoor activities. There is no dearth of national parks in the UK, and they are well maintained by the government. Locals and tourists visit these national parks not only to trek but also to take their fill of nature. The national parks are a perfect refuge from busy city life, and greenery is a vision for Sunrise. In the early 19th century, famous romantic poets such as Byron, Coleridge, and Wordsworth wrote about inspirational beauty of the untamed countryside. By the late 19th century, James Boyce MP started a campaign for public access to the surrounding areas and a bill that permitted the freedom to roam. The bill failed, but the new drive persisted. To celebrate, Discover National Parks Fortnight by visiting the national parks closest to you. Take a vacation or visit the parks on weekends. It is a splendid way to enjoy time with your loved ones. Another great way to discover National Parks Fortnight is by donating to organizations that are responsible for the upkeep and maintenance of national parks. You can donate money or sign up as a volunteer. In the UK, biggest national park is the Cairngorms National Park and covers a total of 1,748 square miles. New Forest National Park is the UK's smallest national park. It covers only 150 square miles. South Downs National Park is the UK's most populated national park with about 12,000 people living within it. Lake District National Park, it is the most visited park in the UK and is received about 16.4 million visitors in 2014. Pembrokeshire Coast National Park is famous for its coastline, which is about 186 miles long. So protected areas such as national parks help in conservation of the environment. Discover National Parks Fortnight is an important celebration that advocates for more green spaces. Discover National Parks Fortnight also encourages outdoor activities. People go there, hike, camp, and pursue other indoor activities. National parks are crucial for getting more people involved in physical exercise. National parks are not just trees and forests. These trees are homes to countless birds and animals too. In a way, Discover National Parks Fortnight also raises awareness of wildlife conservation. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us on this day. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link on 7th April. We are celebrating World Health Day. So we are inviting presentations from eminent scholars, teachers, and presenters, and students. Research scholars also can present. So we invite you all to join on the World Health Day celebrations. So before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.